This week's market report, what I want to show you guys here is some of the numbers that we're following. When you look at total sales there and you go to the right-hand side, right-hand column on this chart here, you see that the sales are only down 4.77% from June of last year. Now, let me explain that to you. Last year, when we hit June, that's when the market started to really turn. That's when sales really started to drop off, not only in Calgary here, but pretty much all across Canada. More so in the bigger cities like Toronto and Vancouver, they really started to
Mm.
slump. And those slumps were so big, it dragged their prices down. Now, Calgary's sales have been pretty much month over month down 15 to 20% every month since June of last year. We're seeing a turnaround now because we're finally reaching that point where the sales started to drop. So you're only seeing a less than a 5% decrease in the number of sales over last year. And then the other number I want to focus on is that sales increase in the average price, 3.89%.
Mhm.
We didn't see that last year, that kind of number all year,
Mhm.
or since June of last year. We were seeing like 1 to 2% increases month over month. When we're up to close to 4%, that's a very, very positive number for Calgary's market, considering our average,
Mhm.
75-year average, 3.5%, and we're above that this month. So it's really, really important to look at these kind of sales numbers and notice as an investor that your property holdings are going up more than the average in Calgary.
Yeah, so what happens is what you guys have to remember out there as investors is tomorrow's the first, it's Canada Day
Yeah.
tomorrow. So the stats will come out on the second because it's public holiday tomorrow. And once the stats come out from the Calgary Real Estate Board, it hits the newspapers and it's positive, right? And when you look at Vancouver and Toronto, I could tell you it's not so positive. Actually, in Toronto and Vancouver, those investors that bought in Calgary pre-construction a few years ago off the plan, those properties are now finished and worth less than what they paid for them. So they're actually walking away from their deposits right now. And that's one sector of the market that's going to actually suffer for some time just because they're overbuilding. We all know that the federal government had special financing for developers, so they overbuilt, and the federal government did that because they want affordable housing. So that the new areas are going to continue to suffer, and we're seeing those investors from out of province walk away from their deposits. But what's actually happening here in Calgary, when this gets released in the next couple of days from the Calgary Real Estate Board, it's huge. It's positive. We're nearly 4%. And people are going to take note. And when we see this positiveness coming out and these numbers coming out, you'll see that people it will spur on the market even more, okay, which we love. But the only other area of concern that we have right now in Calgary is the condo market. And we're flooded right now. I was actually on the MLS today looking for two bedroom, two bath, two bedroom, one bath, checking out the prices. Prices have dropped so much that it's flooding the market in that segment. Where it's really taking off, Tim, is the detached homes and then the upper end as
Yeah,
well.
so anything above 600,000 and especially above $1 million, those homes are really, really flying off the shelf because everybody's seeing the market's been in kind of a slump. It's been kind of flat for 12 months now, and everyone is anticipating that we're going to see a bump again. So if you need to get into a property or you want to get into one of those higher end properties at a decent price before it jumps again, now's the time to do it. We're seeing
Yeah.
people upgrade all over the place.
And one last factor to keep an eye on as well. I don't know if the trade if we don't have enough trades here, but renovation costs are gone through the roof. We know we just quoted something in Queensland. It was just painting basically and
And flooring
flooring
on the main
on
floor.
the main floor, just the main floor. The tenant did a number in there on a new client of ours that came to
Yeah.
us, and he said, "Can you help us out?" And so we checked it out, and we ran our guys through it, and the quote came back for $20,000. And when we looked at the quote, I mean, at the end of the day, half of that was just in material costs,
Yeah.
right? And so when we look at that, the costs of renovations have gone up so much that people would rather not renovate. If you're renovating a basement, it used to be around the $60,000 range, right? Now we're seeing quotes of $100,000. People would rather not do that and take that money and instead by upgrade their home and put maybe 5% or 10% on a new home than putting 100 grand into their property right now. So you're going to continue to see that upper market. It's not even upper market, Tim. It's anything over
Yeah.
600,000. You're going to continue to see that shift, just because those prices will keep going up and people will they'll just keep bidding themselves out of the market basically.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty not exciting times in Calgary. It's better than it has been for the last 6 months to a
Yes.
year, right? We're definitely seeing change, and you know what? The average is going up.
Yeah. And one last thing about that average price, 668, 761, down here in the right-hand corner. We figure it's going to push over 700,000 next year. So what we're anticipating is we're going to get to 850 very, very quickly because just following up behind Toronto and Vancouver, they're both at about 1.1 their average price. And they will continue to go up, maybe not next year, but they will continue to go up. And we're seeing Calgary being pulled up behind it. And we are anticipating a $700,000 average price next year and 850 within probably 3 to 4 years. Okay, so
Okay.
that's our market update for this week. We'll have next seminar, we'll have a full market update for the first 6 months of the year. It'll be very, very detailed, probably wound in with a review for the year or for the first 6 months of the year. So keep your eye on the numbers because Calgary is set to change in the very near future.